Jeff doesn't need this. I guess I do. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, while the youth are coming and getting set up and everything, just a couple of brief notes here. The first is, any of you who have looked at the roster and have listened to us play in worship during the year have probably decided that either Rick Lanning or Dunsing got very, very, very tall within the past couple of weeks, or you have figured out that we do have a substitute. When Rick joined us last year, he had already made arrangements to go on a cruise this week. And the suggestions I had for him were, 1, don't go on the cruise, or 2, find a substitute. And he was very, very able to do that, and we're really, really pleased to have Adam Kennedy with us today. So thanks so much, Adam.
I can't talk right now, I'm worn out. Because I got another 5 energetic pieces to do with the youth thing, so need my energy right now. That last piece just kind of wiped out my mind of all musical things, so I need to take a second to get this piece in my head. It's in 3, okay, good. I said I have 5 energetic pieces, but I lied a little bit, okay? We've got 5 pieces to do for you, and looking at what we had to offer, this is kind of a review of the last, 5 or 6 years I've been driven now. Say the last 4 years. And the theme that seemed to pop out, all of its own accord, was spirituals and dances. So that first tune called Danza, you probably can guess that's a dance. The next piece we're doing is a spiritual. He never said a mumbling word. The piece that follows that, Masters in This Hall, that's a carol that maybe you're not familiar with. I wasn't familiar with it before seeing it in the bell literature. That's actually an old traditional dance that someone in the church cleverly decided, well, it's popular out there, so let's set some nice Christian words to it and make a carol out of it. The piece that follows that, Good on Moses, another classic spiritual. And the final piece is another Kevin McKenzie composition called Capriccio. And I checked out what exactly Capriccio means. It turns out that's, again, a sprightly dance in improvisational form. Now, we don't do the improvisation bit, but we'll certainly do the sprightly dance. Another aspect of dance, I'll make this comment there. I think they're ready. to give you a little idea, I don't get to brag about these guys that often, so I'm going to do so right now. The music we play, just to give you an idea of what's going on, usually to play 3 octaves of bells requires an 11-person choir. We typically play about 4.5 octaves, and that usually takes 13 players. Ordinarily, we just have 7 players up here. You may notice that we actually have a few more than 7 tonight. Some of them aren't quite as young as some of the other ones, but I'll talk about that later. Just in case you see a little extra backfield motion or lots of bells being jangled around or whatever, that's what they're doing to compensate for trying to play this very difficult music with very few ringers. Okay, thank you for that. Okay. except the imagery behind that song is supposed to be that of the volcano building. Someone pointed out that we've actually got the volcano. We don't need a video. It's right here. Perhaps some youthful but not exactly youth ringers in the group today. Sarah Newton, who is ordinarily a member of our group, had signed on to the Multnomah County Search and Rescue this fall. And so unfortunately that meant the one day he had scheduled that he couldn't get out of was today's concert. So unfortunately it took two people to replace him, but graciously Anne and wife Linda have taken his spot. And essentially because this means they both have to ring for two groups. I also want to recognize Bryce and Karen, who are also ringing in both groups this year. It's quite an extraordinary commitment from those two. Let's see. How we doing? Extemporaneous speaking was not one of my strongest subjects in college. So.
Thank you.